Senator Conley talked about energy efficiency, and I want to direct you to the reverse side of the sheet that you got when you came in about ECRI Lobby Day, to the bill in the middle of the page, H7808 and S2499. Not all of ECRI's priority bills are bills that we support. This is a bill that we oppose. This is a bill that would put artificial limits on Rhode Island's energy efficiency programs. And I was going to talk briefly about those programs, but instead I'll just incorporate by reference what Senator Conley said. This is a bill that we're opposing. On the front of the sheet, direct your attention to two bills addressing carbon emissions and climate change that ECRI is supporting this year. The first is the Energize Rhode Island carbon pricing bill. You see that's H7400 S2188. This is the fourth consecutive year that this carbon pricing bill is an ECRI priority, and as one person said over in the House Environment Committee a few weeks ago when the bill was heard, this is really the year we ought to get it passed. It's a very simple bill. Economists tell us that the most efficient way to control and reduce carbon emissions is by putting a direct price on carbon. That's what this bill does, starting at $15 a ton and ratcheting up at the rate of $5 per ton per annum till it reaches $50 a ton. 28% of the proceeds of that carbon fee would go into just the kinds of energy efficiency, renewable energy, climate resilience programs that Senator Conley was talking about. 30% would go back to employers in Rhode Island as a direct dividend, and another 40% would be refunded to Rhode Island citizens, again as a direct dividend. The second bill that is an ECRI priority this year, addressing carbon emissions and climate, is the Global Warming Solutions Act that you see referenced just under the Energize Rhode Island bill on the front of your sheet, H7827 and S2747. The GWSA, Global Warming Solutions Act, is another potential route to address carbon emissions and climate change. That bill would make binding, make mandatory, the currently non-binding goals and aspirations in the Resilient Rhode Island Act of 2014. The Resilient Rhode Island Act was a very, very good step in the right direction, but it is not binding, and this is a bill that would make those carbon emission reductions legally binding, just as they are in Massachusetts and in Connecticut. It's a fairly simple bill. It divides the entire economy into the three major sources of carbon emissions: transportation, electricity, building heating, and has a separate government agency issue regulations, mandatory, binding, legally enforceable regulations aimed at reducing carbon emissions in that sector.